All right, y'all. Friday, finally. You will not believe how hellish of a week I had with work. I mean, it was utterly miserable, dude. Gosh. And especially being down here in the South and just the heat coming up, bro. Just the humidity, it alone is horrible. But it's good to be back. What's up, Flaming Claw? All right. Oh, just wanted to see if people, well, we get more people on that. Actually, we will, but I guess we'll just get right into things, right? Not just wait around and stuff. So starting off with like how it all began. There's this guy called Fizzchozo, or Fizz for short, and he, how can I say it? Because I don't want this stream to come off as me like being like just giving this guy a hard time, but this comes from me being a former fan of his and just seeing how things progressed over the years. I I think it's been close to 4 or 5 years now. 4 or 5 years of this thing just repeating itself. Hey Jonan, it's good. Hang on. Sorry about that, y'all. Hey Jonan, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see all of y'all. But where was I? Oh yes. So this has been like a vicious cycle, really, of, and I've been trying to keep my tongue held back. Like I didn't want to like speak out. Like I'm not scared or anything. I didn't want to rush into things. I just wanted to see like, okay, he may be he may be like stubborn in the beginning, but he may come around. But then like the first year, the first year came and went. Second year came and went. Third year came and went. And all the way up to where we are now, and like nothing has really honestly changed. And just to give you guys a little bit uh, of like information about Fizz or Fizzchozo, is that he's a quote unquote part of like an indie creator, part of the indie sphere. But I use it lightly because yes, even though he has put concepts out, he he has done nothing really productive. And what I'm about to show you guys real soon is that I'm trying my best to like just trying to break it down. But I have videos pulled up. I have two videos at least, well, three, and I figured that hey, we'll go through this together, as a group, and like I'll give my consensus or my 2 cents about what's going on with all this and everything. And mind you, this has been going on for 4 or 5 years now, y'all. 4 or 5 years, and I first came to know Fizz through Dave Brink or Genuine Comics. If you guys know who that is, that's a really good guy. You should check him out. Honestly, I've been on Dave's show actually two times, I think, and I just it's just baffling how since 2020, yeah, since 2020, it's just baffling how this has not. It's just been in limbo, man. Again, this isn't me trying to be mean to him or anything like that. I may fluctuate between me being like calm and then maybe angry because this is again coming from a former fan of this. See, I saw the stream you mentioned before. Yes, yes. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. So I just wanted to show. Well, actually, Let's not even. Let's just dive right in. Where do I mean? I'm gonna do my best, y'all. I really am. But this certain stuff that this guy says is just very alarming to me. Okay, got that going. Cool. Let's do it.
Okay, so for the past couple of years, I've been talking to this person named on her YouTube name is Dazzling K22. Now, recently she blocked me on Twitter, but I don't really care. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, this stuff like this right here. He says he doesn't really care, but yet this is the first thing he talks about. If you don't really care, then why are you talking about it? You know, that's some stuff that doesn't make sense there. Joan, I learned of him through Trey a few days ago, days after this day, streaming about him making amends after their drama. Yeah, yeah, I, I was a little bit late to that party. I came across Fizz by myself with, again on Dave Brink's channel. I also clipped some of these alarming. Yeah, yeah, but that's okay because we're going through this live. But again, he's talking about he doesn't care. But yeah, this is literally now I'm in 20 seconds in. Now I'm in 20 seconds in. He's talking about Dazzling Kate, which Dazzling Kate has put a lot, and I mean a lot of effort in trying to help this guy, along with Trey. Trey's a big one too, and I believe Anime and Fenrir, and I think there's someone else. But let's get back into this.
I barely want to be associated with people anyway.
Okay, you say that, you say that, but again, you're the one who's coming back to them. You're the one who's coming back to them. Again, this isn't me, attacking this guy or anything, but it's me just saying the facts of what I've seen for 4 or 5 years now.
The thing is, her and her circle of friends, our YouTube community, constantly chastise me for my stupid writing decisions. Not for my stupid writing decisions, so much for it's mostly just due to the fact that characters I choose to write stories about.
Right. We told you time and time again why this stuff won't work. Even I was saying this won't work. And you guys in my audience knows me. Kate knows me, Trey knows me. I'm not the type of guy to shy away from certain things, especially when it comes to creating characters. I mean, I I deal with dark fantasy, I deal with sexy characters, but when it comes to the stuff that Fizz comes up with or is inspired by, it's like, is there something I honestly have to ask, hey, is there something going on in your life? Like something really crazy going on? Because it sounds like to us, me and to everyone else, that you're crying out for help or something. Ruby King, yep, Ruby King. Thank you, Ruby King. Ruby King was a big one, a very big one. And for those who don't know about Ruby King, this Ruby King will come up later in this stream that Fizz did. I'm saving that until he talks about it.
See, I'm not like most people. What intrigues me to write a story about a character is a compelling gimmick, or character concept that can allow new stories to potentially happen.
Okay, that's fine. But again, Fizz, what do you write about, sir? This is the whole thing of this stream. He does not really talk about, he doesn't really go in depth what he writes about. He doesn't. I think I listened to this stream a good 3 times. This would be my 4th time.
That's what compels me to write a character. Rather than that character being superficially cool or badass. I just don't care about that. This means that oftentimes I'll write stories about characters who no one will ever choose to write a story about because most they're seen as not uninteresting due to their physical appearance or just their or just the stories they go their stories they participate in. So, for example, I have this character called Goofanoid. It's a clown. This character is called Goofanoid. He's a clown, and he has prank gadgets. He has joke toys. It's very similar to a character like the Trickster, the Flash villain.
And here's the thing too. I really wasn't against the idea of a Goofanoid. I thought that was something, being within the indie sphere. I've seen, when you're in the indie sphere, you see some really like wacky stuff, but it sometimes, it works sometimes. And so I'm thinking, okay, I've seen this clown character who's a superhero. Yeah, he may look menacing, but or I wouldn't say superhero, but he's a hero. And I was like, okay, I'm willing to give it a try at least. I actually do want to, see what this clown is all about. So this is what he was advertising on Dave Brink's channel, or that one stream I was talking about, where this is how I first encountered Fizz. And of course, this was on Indiegogo. I think he had like 2 campaigns. I think, could be wrong. And it goes like Goofonoid, and then like there's Goofonoid Origins. I'm not really gonna get into all of that, but I'm just putting out there that there were 2 crowdfunding attempts that I know of.
Or a prankster, or any number of villains from DC Comics who have joke toys as their main gimmick. But he's a good guy, and he fights against a bunch of psychopaths in Orlando, Florida. These psychopaths include characters like Professor Payne, a guy who develops torture devices and kidnaps children so that he can torture them as part of a brainwashing program to turn children to psychopaths. There's also an undead organ thief who steals organs and sells them, and it's a back alley doctor and does horrific science experiments on people. Well, not just standard science experiments, but medical experiments exclusively. There's also a scarecrow possessed by the ghost of a dead serial killer, and goes around stabbing people. There's also a guy who steals cars.
The Scarecrow idea seems pretty cool, and that's the first I've heard about the Scarecrow guy. Maybe he talked about it before, but as far as I can remember, that Scarecrow idea sounds a little cool, actually. But knowing how Fizz is, it's not uncommon for him to have like these really cool ideas. Sometimes these really cool ideas with characters, and then it just turns a freaking 180, where it just becomes the most obscene, nonsensical, like I can't even explain it, man, because that's how it is. Really, that's how it, with him. It's you try your best to make sense of things, and it's just not adding up.
And takes them apart in order to build weaponized cars out of car parts he just stole. Weaponized vehicles in general. And a whole bunch of other characters, similar characters. Just the villain. If you're not noticing a pattern, most of the villains are based off stuff in horror movies. Now I want to have a character who's a goody two shoes clown who doesn't kill anybody, like a clown who doesn't kill anybody at all. He's a super ultra good guy who fights these somewhat horror themed villains using joke toys, like the ones used by Trickster and Prankster and all them old DC villains that no one cares about anymore. Well, except me, obviously. But no one else wants that. One of those people, Ruby King, tried to rewrite Goofonoid into being exactly like the mask, completely ignoring the fact that I stated multiple times in multiple different live streams that he does not kill.
All right, I don't think Goofonoid was killing people. If I remember correctly, this is give me a second, y'all. This is like what, 2 years back with Ruby King. Ruby King has went out of his way to help Fizz rewrite the entire first chapter, first volume of Goofonoid. No pay. Completely done out of the kindness of his heart to help Fizz. And Fizz basically just he basically just threw it in the trash. The script that Ruby King came up with was so much better, is so much better than what Fizz had. I don't believe Goofonoid was killing people. I don't think so. I could be wrong. Again, we're going back like at least 2 years ago. Let's see. I've been trying to give him advice for a year. Jonan, yeah, and that's another thing too. When I was looking through when I was looking through stuff with Fizz, I didn't know you did a live stream with Fizz. I didn't know that. That's why I recently subscribed to you, and I thought this whole time I subscribed to you. I was already subscribed to you. I thought I did, but anyway, that's beside the point. When I was listening to that for that hour long stream, I was just like, oh my gosh, he's bringing up points from a year ago, possibly 2 years ago, that is being recycled into this stream that we're watching now. Fizz's latest stream. Anyway, I've been trying to give him advice for a year, but he doesn't take notes on right or anything. Yeah, no, he doesn't. He's admitted that he only takes notes. He mentally takes notes. He doesn't really write them down. Yet wants to be a writer but can't draw. Oh yeah. Oh, don't get me started, please. I'm trying my best to take this from the angle of a former fan who's critiquing him, just to bring a constructive, try to be a constructive change at least. He was in Ruby's script. He was in Ruby's script, but it's such a straw man that he has a problem with the mentally ill clown killing, but his 11-year-old child being an anti-hero. Oh, don't, please don't, Jonan. I'm begging you, man. I'm trying my best. Okay, I'm trying my best here. You saw that? Laugh out loud. Yeah, I tried to stir him in a clear direction during the stream, but thanks for. Hey, no problem, bro. No problem. Anyway, let's get back into this.
So there's nothing to write about. Once I turn them into the mask, there really are no stories I can tell. And also, you gotta really know
you can tell stories. You just decide not to. You can tell stories. I remember when I was in 4th grade. I mean, I've been writing ever since I was a little kid. But I know there was one point in time where I was like, I don't want to write anything with girls in it because, being like what, a fourth grader, just you know how kids are. And I just like, it was for a project. I was like, I didn't want to write anything with a girl in it because girls are icky and all that. And so it really took it honestly took my dad to basically knock some sense into me. Not like physical, but actually, what I mean like metaphorically is he was just challenging me like, hey, why do you think you can't do this, but you can write all this stuff here and there? And that that served as an inspiration. And this is where I'm trying to relate it into, where with Fizz's case, it kind of reminds me of that, where he's just being so stubborn and people all around him are giving him like good, or trying at least try their best to give him good ideas. And he's just to keep saying no. Don't get me started on that. When he starts doing the he's not really paying attention. He's not. And it's so infuriating. It's so infuriating when I think about this. It's not even me. It's just the people who continuously try their best to help him and try to hear him out on things, and he just keeps wasting their time and energy, to the point where even Trey, if y'all know about Trey loses his cool with Fizz, rightfully so, because there's been points in time I was losing my cool, but I was physically holding myself back from joining some streams, and just again, I didn't want to come off angry or anything, and I'm doing my best to be constructive here. But we're talking about Fizz here, where I just, sometimes he needs someone to challenge him, and I'm gonna, at least with this stream, I'm just gonna challenge. I don't really plan on doing another stream talking about Fizz. I don't. I've seen it so many times. It's just a vicious cycle. Nothing really gets done, other than just you being being even more frustrated.
No kill code. So because of that, he's exactly like the villains he's fighting. So there really is no thematic opposition there. And another one of my characters, Tiger Man, is a 12-year-old child, a 12-year-old boy who makes a deal with a fairy godmother to become more courageous, but that deal winds up turning him into a were-tiger, and then he is cursed with lycanthropy. That's the proper term, not lycanthropy. Lycan means wolf, but he's not a wolf. He's a were-tiger. And then he goes around because this boy has an abusive background as abusive parents. He goes around unleashing his inner violence, his inner rage out on criminals by torturing and killing them. So it's basically Ghost Rider, but it's a little kid.
No, it's not like Ghost Rider. It's not like Ghost Rider. It's nothing like a Ghost Rider. Tell them the full truth, Fizz. What does Tiger Man really do? What does this 11 or 12-year-old boy do, really, in your story? It's not criminals. He doesn't go after criminals. It's like he's going after he's going after women and taking their wombs out, doing some Jack the Ripper stuff type. I mean, I wish I could be making this up, but I'm not. And evidence will come to show once we get to the other two videos I want to show. It gets in some really depraved, sick stuff. Getting to the point again where everyone's questioning, is this guy all right? And the answer is becoming ever increasingly a resounding no, he's not. Again, this is not me trying to stir anything. It's just what, again, been dealing with this for 4 or 5 years now. It's tiring. We did that one live stream together, but we've DM'd throughout the year, and it's funny, but I lose my patience with him. Yeah. He'll get into that later in his stream, rest assured.
Instead of adults, which is an interesting dynamic that potentially allows for new stories that can never be done before.
What do you mean never be done before? Humans been telling stories for as long as we've been existing. Nothing is truly original. We can do our best to bring out, bring a new, like a new perspective on it and everything. And, we can be smart with the writing, of course, but in essence, nothing is truly original. Not anymore.
Of course, everyone says this is a bad idea because it's a child killing people. And children are supposed to be innocent, even though children that age are expected to be reading porn. I mean, most parents don't monitor their children at all past a certain point. So like, for example, manga. All anime exported to the West is shonen. Shonen is aimed at 10 to 16-year-old boys. Now, the thing about shonen is that they're all set in high school and are extremely highly sexual in nature. And we might say, but shonen is all aimed at high schoolers. Well, what else do you expecting kids to be reading? Keep in mind, the vast majority of Kodomo anime is aimed at kindergartners. Like Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty is aimed at 6-year-olds. Would you expect an 11-year-old child in America to still be watching Clifford the Big Red Dog? I was, because my parents didn't have cable till I was 12. But for most people, they will say no. But what is aimed at? First of all, I don't even know what's aimed at 12-year-olds in Japan. I don't even know what's aimed at 11-year-olds in Japan.
Okay, so why are you saying it then? Like you're speaking like it's fact. I mean, yeah. And here's the thing, Fizz. Their culture is very different from ours. Very different from ours. And I wonder what the hell you're reading and watching. Because I'll be honest, you be talking about some things like Monster Musume or Elfen Lied or whatever, and I know they're not shonen, but you be talking about some stuff that's like, okay, dude, look, man, you obviously are into, and I don't mind that. I mean, first of all, I like Monster Musume, I like Elfen, but you don't really. I know you like Elfen Lied a little bit or whatever until like the last episode or whatever. You don't, but you, the way how you go about things and to talk about things, which you will in I don't know how long, but I know you usually go on a tangent with it about how you don't like anime or whatever, shonen anime, manga, whichever, and it's like unhealthy. And I have to ask this question too: why are you still consuming this material? Why are you looking into this if you hate it that much, dude? You shouldn't be doing that if it's making you that angry. You can just be, I mean, you can, not too long ago, I decided to step away from fandoms. I did. I'm not completely rejecting them. Uh, maybe I make it sound like a little dramatic. That's okay. But the thing is, when I'm stepping away from these fandoms, I'm focusing more on my stuff, which you don't, sir. You don't. Because if you were, it wouldn't take you a year to write out a script for Goofanoid. It wouldn't. And I don't mind you having, these bits of sexuality in your comics or whatever, but it's the way how you apply it to certain characters, especially the Tiger Man character. Like, dude, again, what is going on? His idea of storytelling is thinking of whatever comes to mind and doing something that's never been done before, when all things stories come from existing stories of real life. Exactly. I think the market of anime today has changed since the ones he mentions, adults, which swat. Yeah, yes. Basically, he's trying to say Japan is trying to push pornography on children because of certain animes having fan service. Again, he's not. He's not even. Again, he's not. He's not looking into the other stuff. He basically admitted that. He told us without telling us, right? Can we agree on that? So I can name you an anime that I really love, and it's very wholesome. It's called Flying Witch. I don't think there's any fan service or anything. It's purely just wholesomeness about a witch, well, witches, and they're going about everyday life. Really, it is. I mean, you can't. There's nothing really crazy or gory as far as I can remember. It's just a perfect blend of like, okay, this is for everybody. This is for a family to watch. So it begs the question: why is he focusing on this? If it just irritates him, and we got our answer really with this. And yes, and this also blends into the whole ideology of mine of when it comes to tourists, because they talk about the most light fan service stuff ever. Talk about the most thing. We're not even talking about like exposed breasts or anything like that. It could be, it's just how a superhero's costume is or whatever, and they just lose it. That's what Fizz reminds me of, and it's not pushing pornography on children. It's just because it has a little bit of fan service. I mean, if that's the case, then we need to start banning comics like Spider-Man when they start showing MJ or Gwen Stacy or whatever the hell they got going on right now. Oh, by the way, he hates High School DxD and wants to make the villainous teenagers based off. Oh, I know. Don't. I didn't want to. I know. Oh, I know. I didn't want to get ahead yet.
All shonen anime that's exported to America is set in high school and is extremely highly sexual in nature. Like, look at DandaDan. Your 10-year-old right now, if you're a parent, is probably reading a comic book where the first issue is literally an intended gang rape of the main character by alien.
DandaDan, I watched like 1 or 2 episodes with my friends. Yeah, sure, they go ahead and strip the girl. I mean, let's be honest. Even the guy was kind of being sexually harassed too. And that's I mean, the whole thing was that these two their experiences of actually encountering aliens and ghosts come to a realization that they're going to be working together. Again, I only watched episodes 1 and 2. There was nothing really out there. It was just the regular anime stuff, like the regular anime tropes.
That is a children's manga. And that's how anime just is. And keep in mind, the kids nowadays are all reading manga. So yeah. They don't really aim at 10-year-olds or 11-year-olds. Like every single Kodama I've seen is just like Hello Kitty. It's aimed at 6-year-olds. Going back to my rank here, I don't know what's even aimed at 12-year-olds to begin with. Because normally when you make a character a child, that means it's a children's story. But in this case, I'm not even aiming at children. It's aimed at adults. But adults, apparently, according to all these people, like according to all these people who criticize Tiger Man heavily, children are supposed to be innocent, and no adult wants to read a story about a child going through any of this stuff. So age them up to high school, which completely destroys the story, since you can't really tell a story in high school that isn't about sex. Anime proves that.
Wrong. Absolutely wrong. But okay, continue.
Anime and teen dramas all prove you can't really tell a story in high school that isn't about the main character having sex. But I don't want to write about the main character having sex. Not to mention, because I don't actually want to write about a teenager going through any of this, I'm still going to write him as if he's a preteen. Because I just don't want to write about a teenager going through any of this, because it's been done before and it's not interesting. Now, I do mean it's not interesting, because I've seen Devilman Crybaby, and that was absolutely awful. And that was not because the main character was killing people; it was because just everybody in that show was a bad person. But it's supposed to be a serious show, a serious drama. Like, it's not supposed to be a comedy or anything like that. Like what's that show? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's not like that. You're actually supposed to take Devilman seriously.
There's also a lot of dead air in this stream. I'm sorry about that, y'all.
Now, people want to criticize the hell out. Now, once I make Tiger Man, I just gotta realize people want to criticize the hell out of it just to offer extreme graphic violence. Because no one actually wants to read a story about child killing people, even though people have read stories about. There have been comics about child children.
It's the way you go about it, man. You win about it. You were talking about how he was sexually abused by his lesbian mothers, and he met that fairy godmother, and when she bestowed the power to him and everything, he started going on a mass spree of killing women and ripping their wombs out and whatever else. He's not going to go into detail why.
Killing people, which just that nobody's ever heard of them. I mean, there's Street Angel, which is a comic book about a little girl killing people. So
Come on, Fizz, hurry it up, man. It didn't really.
now, and when people say I refuse to change my stories, I change stories all the damn time. I literally changed the plot. I've literally changed the plot of Gryffindor multiple times.
It doesn't. It doesn't seem that way. If you do, it's very little. It seems like it's the same stuff, but it gets worse with every iteration.
Originally, he was supposed to be fighting a Ku Klux Klan knockoff, but I scrapped that entire storyline. Now it's the chocolate company that owns the music park he used to work at. And Professor Payne is actually works for the chocolate company. Now, now nobody here probably believes that's what I just stated as the story of Gryffindor, but that's what the current story is.
More dead air. Again, sorry about that, y'all. And I don't. And I'm not trying to make fun of him, but sometimes I just can't tell if he's like, if he has allergies or he's crying. I can't.
So I got to pause every few seconds.
Again, I don't know if he's crying right now or something.
Now, me constantly having to change my stories to be more marketable makes me not like storytelling. Like it literally pisses me off and makes me write more and more stories out of spite because there's nothing I actually want to write about.
That's not healthy. You need to stop doing that. That's what's leading to you becoming more of like a loud cow or low cow or whatever the hell they call it. This is why people don't really take you seriously, dude. You're writing out of spite. You're doing some You're doing some modern Marvel versus DC. Damn it! I am so sorry, y'all. I'm angry. I'll be honest. I'm angry to the point where I can't even focus talking now. You're doing some modern writers of Marvel and DC, and it's just I think you're worse than them. Honestly, I do. I believe Fizz is worse.
Like for example, another one of my characters that's extremely negatively received, not as extreme as Gryffindor Tiger Man, is Distortion. Distortion is about a chick named a woman named Natalie Wormwood, who's a blind woman, he was born blind to a rich CEO dad. To a rich CEO dad who was a CEO of a tech company who develops cybernetic eye implants that allow his daughter to finally be able to see as a grown woman. And she also has this suit that allows her to turn invisible, also built by his father's company. And she used that suit. And after falls assassinated, she now has to use that invisibility suit she has to outsmart and trick bad guys into foiling their own plans, or to sabotage villains' plans using that invisibility suit. People say that won't work. That won't work because we're not seeing a superhero actually fight for villains, but this Rad is using invisibility to trick them. But she's not actually fighting supervillains. She's fighting normal people a lot of times with gimmicks.
That sounds boring. That sounds boring. It's cool to again. This is what I was talking about earlier. He comes with these cool ideas with certain characters, and then it just goes to a 180. That actually sounds cool. Having this blind girl with this invisibility suit because her father got assassinated. That's pretty cool. That's a good character basis right there. And then it's just how you go about it, and then it's just how he goes about it, and it's just like, okay, I don't want to read this.
It seems like normal people gimmicks as a villain is just kind of dead as a concept. It's like you can't accept the concept of a regular dude with no powers that just has a crazy gimmick as a villain anymore. Everything has to be a world-ending event about finding aliens from outer space. And one thing that's made me hate storytelling is anime, because all anime is aimed at teenagers, which means the story can't really
Again, wrong.
be anything more than just bouncing tits and fighting between characters that we don't care about.
Again, wrong.
I mean, that's what the vast majority of anime is. That's what Fire Force is.
Wrong.
Fire Force can't even focus on this concept of the fact that people horrific
Shut up.
persons
Shut up. Shut up.
Fire Force, but
Shut up. Sorry,
because
y'all.
it's shown and we can't go in depth. And that's not what the audience wants. But I hate what the audience wants. I legit hate what the audience wants.
Yeah, we know that. We know that you hate what the audience wants because you said on stream before with Trey, Dazzling Kate, Fenrir, and all of us in the chat that you hate writing for your audience. At the end of the day, you hate writing for your audience. That's what it all boils down to. You hate writing in general. That's why I say you're probably worse than the Marvel and DC writers. And that's not me trying again to like talk down to someone or anything. This is literally what this man has said. If you don't believe me, you can literally go on Dazzling Kate's channel, find the streams of Fizz, and lo and behold, the answer will be right there. I have been there for most of them. Sorry. I can't remember his name per se, but it doesn't. Fire versus if you've seen anything like that, the rest of Amazing Fire. He also debunked himself. He said he never watched Fire Force. Yes, he did. Oh boy. Anyway.
Wants. I am tired of fan service.
Then don't watch it. It's easy.
I hate sexy women.
Then don't watch it. Gay. Don't read it.
Unless I'm about to go to bed with a woman, I don't care how she looks.
Stop lying. That's lying right there. You're lying.
All right? I just hate fan service. Well, stop watching stories aimed at teenagers then. That's all anime.
No,
I have not seen a children's anime since I believe Pokemon. Pokemon's aimed at the same target audience as Arthur. It's just 6, 7, 8-year-old children. Very young children. It's kind of hard for anyone older than 9 years old to even watch something like that. Hell, I highly doubt Arthur's even in 8-year-olds. Is it? I don't know. I can't really tell.
That's a you problem then. That's a you problem. Come on, stop giving us all this dead air, man. Wasting my fucking time. Oh, I'm getting pissed now.
I mean, I have no story to tell about Wonder Woman, so why would I create a Wonder Woman knockoff? See, the reason why Dazzling Kate blocked me on Twitter.
Give me a moment, y'all. It's gonna take me a lot of restraint. You talking about original storytelling, yet you mention stuff like, oh, he's like the ghostwriter. Again, that's not original. You're talking about you want to create stories that have never been told before, but yet you're referencing stuff like Wonder Woman and Ghost Rider. And you're writing stuff out of spite. Again, that's not original. So you're just digging yourself like deeper.
Is that she told me to restart my universe from the ground up because I have too many sexual villains in my comic.
You do, and I don't even mind that at all. I don't. I literally have Clint Helinski's Blue Bombshell, which you hate, by the way, and you don't even know what you're talking about, really, when it comes to that. But I don't mind the sexual superheroes, super villains and all that. But the way you go about it, Fizz, is disturbing. Like, it's to the, again, I'm saying it, I'm repeating myself for a third time. It's to the point where we're all thinking, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Or something. I don't know. She's not very good at explaining it.
She's very good at explaining things. You just choose not to fucking listen.
Start my universe over and tell me all caps. No, I'm gonna tell her no. This is not your characters. This is not Batman. This is not Superman. This is not Wonder Woman. This is not Spider-Man. I have no interest in writing about these characters.
Then guess what, Fizz? Nobody else gives a damn. And guess what? In addition to that, if you're trying to somehow make money from it, you're not being marketable here. You're not. Fizz. Fizz. I've had beta readers tell me they didn't like the first draft of my second book, which was the focus on the first villain of the I'm sorry. I cannot speak. I'm sorry, y'all. Again, sorry. I'm getting heated. I'm very heated, actually. It focuses on the villain of the first book, so it's really technically a spin-off prequel. And guess what? Even though I was angry about that, guess what I did, Fizz? I rewrote it. I'm still rewriting it. I'm 33 chapters deep into the damn book. And yes, I know once I actually get to the editing process, it's gonna be downsized and everything. But I'm treating it like a novella. That's a goal right there. Because I've never written a novella. I've only written novels. Well, a novel. You, on the other hand, sir, you're getting angry and frustrated at people who are giving you valid criticism. Is being very constructive, and you're just saying, fuck you, I know what I'm doing, because reasons. Fizz, let's be fucking honest here. I'm sorry if I'm cussing so much. Let's be honest here. The two Indiegogo campaigns that you had for Goofanoid raked in about $400+ combined. Individually, the first Goofanoid Indiegogo raked in 300 something, And the second one, which was Origins, raked in about $108. And that's with you doing all this marketing. That's telling you something, Fizz. That should be telling you something. If you don't want to listen to Kate and Trey and anyone else, then you should definitely, definitely listen to the people who are fucking giving you the money to make it successful. And you don't want to listen to them because of reasons.
I want to rate stories about new characters, with stories that have never been told before, stories that are compelling beyond just a stupid fight scene.
Stop fucking lying. Stop fucking lying. Please stop lying. Because the stuff that you make up stuff on the spot, dude. I literally listen to you live make stuff up on the spot about Milkman and all that. And don't get me started on Milkman. Let me take a break with the chat. Just gonna say this. Sometimes the fan service is also mixed in this with the character. Some use it as an advantage in a lot of ways. Yes. I think he just hates female characters that sexy line. Yes, he does. He does. He's told us that multiple times. Remember Pussy Catnip? Yes, I can never forget that. He wanted to kill and torture that character if she wouldn't be a proxy. Yeah. Fizz is such a bizarro person because everyone understood what Kate says, while Fizz himself isn't good at explaining things. In his previous stream, he couldn't explain Common America well. I know. And a pathological liar, yes. The whole thing of this sounds like he wants to make a story that only pleases him and no one else, regardless of criticism, like his target audience is him and the person he sees in the mirror. Yes, that's why I said he's worse than the Marvel and DC writers of today. The funny but also weird thing is he's snapping and mentioning Kate and Ruby mostly when they were the nicest and less critical. Yeah. This is why I'm getting upset. I know I said it earlier in the stream. I said I may fluctuate between being calm and angry, and I'm at my fucking limit. Not to play that card, but he's probably sexist too. Don't. I'm not gonna read it. I'm not gonna read it because it's really gonna make me crash out. Fight scenes make a lot of shows and build character depending on the fight scenes. I mean, Fist of the North Star has a unique fight scene, and you can recognize it. Remember his hardship getting it. Okay, let's get back into this.
I don't care about the writing a story about Wonder Woman. I have no interest in writing a story about Wonder Woman. As a matter of fact, with Wonder Woman, when Wonder Woman goes public domain, I'm not even going to try to write about a story about Wonder Woman because she's not really an interesting character. She changes every 5 years, even before the New 52 reboot. Like throughout most of the Silver Age, she changes every 5 years.
I can't really speak on that because I don't really know Wonder Woman comics like that. That would be more like for Trey and such.
Right, having to constantly change the plot of my character stories, which I've done multiple times, and yet people still don't like it because the very conception of the character is bad. At least that's why I get told thousand times over.
You know why they're bad. You know why they're bad, Fizz. You know exactly why they're bad.
But I'm actually passionate about writing these damn characters.
Really, Fizz? Are you? Because it seems to me and everyone else you don't really give a damn. Because if you are passionate, then it wouldn't take you a year to write a script. Dude, I've written 3 scripts. 3 scripts. 1 year. In 1 year. That's chapter 1 of Nightfall Eldritch, chapter 2 of Nightfall Eldritch, and chapter 2 part 2 of Nightfall Eldritch. Oh, and then also that's not even counting the smaller scripts for the little comic dubs. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or boast about it, like how, oh, I'm so much better and all that. No, it's not about that. It's not a dick measuring contest. I'm just showing you. I'm just telling you. It's like you say this, you say you're passionate, but it really your performance is horrendous on an indie standpoint. But yet you want to talk about being a good writer and all this, and you can't even do you can't even.
And get people like Wolfton Media who comes into my DMs telling me to give up and get a real job, even though I've tried that for the past 2 fucking years.
I don't know. I don't know your situation. I don't know your real life situation. But still, you need to get a job. You need to get a job.
Anime aimed at teenagers doesn't actually make me want to write stories anymore. It makes me want to kill teenagers.
Okay, why would you say shit like that, dude? Why? You see what I mean? When you come off seeming like a fucking psychopath? You're getting this upset over anime that you want to kill teenagers?
So I'm gonna write the teenagers into my story just to have them get their tits chopped off.
Dude, you need to stop watching and reading whatever the fuck you're consuming. You need to stop, dude. You need to stop. You gotta find something better, man. Something that's healthy. Something. Maybe you need to focus more on how to be a good writer. Maybe you need to watch tutorials on YouTube on how to better manage your time. You're not doing from what I have noted, from like what you talked about and what others talked about, it seems like you have a lot of time on your hands. Fizz, there should be no way. You should be failing right now, dude. If I was in if I had that much time on my hands, I wouldn't say in your shoes, but if I had that much time in my hands, and I did at one point, guess what I did, Fizz? Guess what I did? During the pandemic, 2020, 2021, 2022, and a little bit of 2023, I was writing my book. My first novel, Gods and Goddesses Children of Ragnarøkkr. And guess what else I was doing? I was making connections with artists, having artists do illustrations for my book. That's what really took a long time right there. And somehow I was paying for it during those times. Because guess what, Fizz? I was working. You want to talk about job scarcity? Those years were freaking scarce. I actually had to come to a friend and ask him, hey, can you please give me a job? And guess what, Fizz? I got a job. Wasn't easy. It was twice, actually. I had to do something like that. Wasn't easy. But guess what? I did it. The thing you using these excuses is really telling your character. And I already know you're not going to really care. You might be a little mad. If you even come to watch this, you might be a little mad, a little angry, or you might not even listen to the whole thing. And that's fine. This is more of just advertising not only myself, but the people who have tried their best to help you. And also to give my audience something, give them more content, videos, streams, whatever. I'm sorry. I apologize, y'all.
And have their faces cut off. There's nothing to write about when in high school aside from sex. So once
hold on, I'm taking a break from that. I'm taking a break from that video. I'm gonna read the comments. I'm drinking my water while I'm drinking my tea. Okay, where was I at? Oh yes, I've been reading a few comics. Wonder Woman, in my opinion, is supposed to be like the ideal modern woman. He's only read the Silver Age comics where her writers weren't passionate. Okay, again, I don't know much about Wonder Woman other than the usual stuff. Gee, what's up, Greg? Man, what's up, bro? Hey, man. Hey, I'm trying my best to keep it calm and try to not curse a lot, but this I've been this I'm talking about Fizzchozo or Fizz, and I've been I'm a former fan. I was a former fan of his. Well, I'm a former. I'm sorry. I'm just so upset. I am a former fan of his because he was trying to. He was a little bit into the spirit of creating stuff, and for 4 or 5 years now, he's just been procrastinating and doing nothing really. I don't know what the eyes mean, Nev. I'll be honest. What's up? I already told you that. I'm not gonna. There's no need for me to repeat. He really wants people to pay to get his work done. Yeah, and that's another thing too. I've seen his work. If anyone's been paying attention to what he posts, and Lord forbid you do, um, it's nothing. It's nothing to look at. Honestly, that's not me trying to down talk. Just it's just I've seen better. I've seen better from amateur artists. Let's just say, and he's not even amateur. He's like two grades down or something. Just when I thought I wouldn't find him more tasteless creative than Chad, man. I already clipped this definitely. um, it's a big book too. Yeah, my book is about almost 600 pages. Yep. 590 pages long. I told him he could apply on Indeed 50 times because I myself got a few job interviews of that method. We live in the internet age. We live in the internet age. Bro's speech pattern running in Windows 98. His thoughts keep buffering. Neff, laugh out loud. Fizz, 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 Fizz. What the hell have you done now, Fizz? I don't know about fan, but supporter at least. I should say supporter. I should say supporter. I'm sorry. I'm just going. I'm going with the flow. I supported him back in the day. Yeah, same here. Support those who earn it. Dodge these kind of disappointment. Yeah, yeah. That was a different D Rhino back then, y'all. I was different. I was still getting my feet wet with things, and I was starry eyed and like, oh, I want to help everybody. And then, I'm not saying I'm like like this old disgruntled man. No, it's just more like, okay, I recognize these types. Seeing the patterns now. Have you seen it? Yes, I have, and it's atrocious. Okay, let's get back into this.
to get a character that age, there's really nothing to write about. Once but all mainstream entertainment has to be aimed exclusively at teenagers.
Wrong.
So I don't even really care. I don't really care anymore. I don't really care. I just exclude teenagers from target audience of my story. I could just make them all aimed at adults. Like Tiger Man, Tiger Man just wanted to be aimed at adults. I don't even really care about anyone younger than 18 years old reading it. but no one wants to see. But children are supposed to be in it. Why does it matter? You letting your children read softcore porn comics on Shonen Jump website, or Shonen Jump app. That's if you're a parent watching this live stream, that's what your children are reading. They're reading softcore porn comics like what's that one, To Love Rule?
Again, what are you watching or reading, Fizz? What are you watching or reading, Fizz? This has nothing to do with them. This has something to do with you.
Carnation Coliseum, that's not Shonen Jump. That was in Dragon Age or something. It doesn't matter. You're reading. They're reading sexually charged stories about teenagers.
Sir, you are the one who's reading about that stuff. Stop trying to go through this whole like, oh, think of the children. No, you obviously are not thinking of the children, because if you were thinking of children, you wouldn't be putting the motherfucking 11-year-old boy with this guy called the Penetrator. Yeah, think of that. Think of that for us chat. If you don't know what I'm talking about, but does that sound cool? Does that sound interesting? Pairing a young boy with an adult man who goes by the alias of the Penetrator. Does that sound right? I'm just saying.
On the Shonen Jump app. That's what your 10-year-olds reading.
I don't know if he's having like he's holding back tears or something. I don't know. I'll be honest. I can't tell when it becomes this dead silent. So it's supposed to empower men and is targeted teenagers. That's why protagonists usually around 14 or older.
I don't want to write stories that have mainstream appeal. The mainstream is stupid.
I agree to some point.
The mainstream appeal, they ain't gonna do nothing. Look at modern day video games. They've been chasing the mainstream appeal for how many years now? All they can do is just make hyper detailed textures. That's all they can do. I don't want to do that. Well, all I can do is just have the artist draw pretty fight scenes, and that just adds more credit to the artist than me as a storyteller. And then what?
Wait. I've totally forgot about this part. But correct me if I'm wrong. Did he say that having artists, having this team of the artist and writer would take away from his storytelling because of the artist's work? Well, guess what, Fizz? If you're a good writer, hell, if you're a decent writer at least, with a compatible artist, people will actually still keep coming back because the story is engaging, it's interesting. Hell, even in some cases, the art is not good, but the story is. So this is, are you kind of like, is this an insecurity that like you're projecting? Because that's what it seems like to me.
I don't like having to constantly change the plot, and then no one still no one likes it because people just want me to change the character. Makes me not want to write at all. But I'm going to write it anyway, and then write it anyway, since I don't really care what these people think anymore. Like Dazzling Kate, Trey McKell, Ruby King, all these people, they don't actually want new stories. They want the same old stories they've always been getting, just redone.
Nope, I'm not gonna say it.
The only way I could probably impress these people is to make a story about Superman. I did this with. I mean, I have goody two shoes heroes in my universe. Obviously, Goofy is one of them, but they don't want Goofy to be a goody two shoes. They want him to be just like the mask. I I legit hate mainstream storytelling. It's super boring. It's so inflexible that you can't even create new character concepts. You have to just recycle old ones.
Again, more white, just white noise, just static, just dead air. White, I say white noise, dead air. Just Ruby King also offered to help Fizz with campaigning.
Yeah.
Really, I didn't know this. I didn't know this. I didn't know this. Ruby King also offered to help Fizz with campaigning and funding his version of Goofonoid. Where's can someone get please get me in touch with Ruby King? I at least I at least respect the man who's who went out of his way to do this for someone who is so undeserving. I have receipts of me and Neff and I doing our best. And hell, I'll be honest. Even even when our campaign didn't succeed, we still had a lot more than Fizz. And that's with both his campaigns combined. Again, not trying to boast or anything, but it goes to show you just how much um, goodwill and appreciation that we have with our community that we're able to achieve something like that. I really thought we were only going to get $10, and that's not me like thinking. I wasn't trying to think like like oh we're terrible or anything like that. No, it was just we're new to this. We're new to this. We're not really well known, but to see that we actually got over $500 with the total within the total campaign time, it's like wow, dude, we actually got something. Hell, the comic dub, the second comic dub that we have, with Damonite and Zanzakia, the cat girl nun, that reaches 1,000. That reaches a new 1,000 views every week. Every week. So you know, it just really bothers me. It really bothers me that people, well, creators like Fizz are just in this it's just in this victim mentality. Like, I can't, dude. I'm trying my best not to be so angry. He mentioned it toward the end of, of that live stream of Goof Noise, right? I rewatched it yesterday. Okay. That's because you appreciate your audience while he doesn't care if they're. Yes. Thank you. Ruby has his own channel. I could send it to you later, but I don't want to destroy Ruby's connection with Fizz, which is more than he deserves. I mean, look, I'll be look. I can't force anyone. I can't force anyone, and I'm not going to force anyone. But I would like to at least work with a man like Ruby because I mean his heart is in the right place. I mean this guy is offering help to just I mean look, if someone's offering to help you, you take it. You take it and you grow with that person. That's how Neff and I work. Well, when we began, and it wasn't, and when we how we began was because he was doing free commissions for people. And then I was like, you know what? Hey, you did such an awesome commission for me. Here, let me actually invest into you. And guess what? Look at us now. It's called mutual respect. It's called having an understanding. And that's what Fizz lacks. There was even one point in time where he was calling his concept artist like lesser than. And he admitted that on stream. On Kate's channel, I believe. So it really goes to show you the character of this guy. One thing to take away from Fizz is self-depreciating gets you nowhere. Yes. All right, let's get back to this. Again, dead air. I don't know if he's crying. I don't know. It sounds like he is, but I mean, he could have allergies. More dead air.
Goof, no, it's not Joker. I have no interest in writing about the Joker. No, he's more upstanding. Well,
Yes, you know what
if somewhat loony, clown guy. That's what I want to write about. It's a morally upstanding, if somewhat loony clown guy. I mean, he's more like Ace Ventura than the Mask is. Yeah. Even then, he doesn't really have superpowers. He's fighting regular people who are really awful.
More dead air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I hate anime.
We know this.
I have teenage girls, big tits, get their tits chopped off in Tiger Man, and have their woman get the uteruses torn out.
There we go. We're finally getting to the truth now.
In various places. That's what I do in Tiger Man because I hate sexy women now.
Yeah, of course you would hate sexy female characters. Of course you would.
At least in regards to storytelling. Yeah, I hate sexy women now. So I just want to see them get killed.
Wow, that doesn't sound psychopathic.
Tiger Man's place to do it, since Tiger Man is my anti-hero character. He's my inverse equivalent to Ghost Rider, but done a slightly different way. He's a child cursed to become the were tiger. That is the concept of Tiger Man, and he has to fight fairies and a whole bunch of other magical creatures. It's literally my equivalent to Ghost Rider.
That makes no sense. It's not Ghost Rider.
But he's a child, okay, but that somehow makes it bad, even though it allows more storytelling opportunities than if he was just an adult. Oh my God. Because as a child, he has to struggle with things like keeping a roof over his head. He has to stay at somebody else's house. He has to struggle with things like not get he has to struggle with a lot of things that Ghost Riders doesn't have to struggle with, because none of Ghost Riders have ever been.
I thought you were trying to make original stories that haven't been made before, and yet you're referencing Ghost Rider. That's not really original right there, Fizz.
Child that has ever been children. Sorry. Gotta fix my grammar. But you tell me 1,000 times this is a bad concept. I don't care how many times you tell me it's a bad concept. This is what I want to write about because it can allow new stories to exist.
Then
I'm
keep it
trying
to
to tell new
yourself.
stories.
Keep it to yourself.
Not retread old ones.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm taking the Ghost Rider concept and then making it my own.
1, 2, 3.
No one cares for mainstream comic writing, something like that. Every single character is now big major character. They change all the time. Hell, look at James Gunn. Literally every single character he's changed dramatically. He's changed dramatically from source material. Either to simplify it or just to make it his own. But I'm making wholly original characters, not using the names of established older characters.
Come on.
I'm not taking the Joker and making him the good guys. This is not the Joker at all. It's not even really close to the Joker.
No, because the Joker's better.
My Goofanoid, not only does he have a strict code against killing, but he doesn't even
when he's the good guy, he's better.
The nihilistic outlook that Joker has. He's a very optimistic person. He's kind of like the opposite of Joker. His mindset. His view on life is more similar to Wander, the alien from Wander over yonder, than is something like anything like Joker. He would probably be trying to befriend a lot of his villains. If
there's a reason why it doesn't work, because what adult sees himself as a child victimizing women. Fizz. I'm just. That's all I gotta say. Come on, Fizz. Stop with the dead air. Let's get going. Come on. You really need to write some stuff down, dude. Oh wait, you don't write stuff down. You got everything up here in the noggin, right? Right?
But I legit want to write about these characters. I'm actually passionate about writing about these characters.
You're
no one
lying.
else is.
You're lying.
Everyone tells me to simply make new characters.
Yeah, Fizz.
And then I'll scrap those characters, even though I'm the most passionate about writing them, because they're not marketable. But I don't give a goddamn what's marketable.
Stop lying, because I'm about to show you why. I'm about to show you why in the audience why you do care. Let's actually go to this. You don't care, right? You don't care, right? You don't care, right? Okay, you don't care. Let me show you why you're lying. Let me show the audience why you're lying. Stop the screen. Hey, Fizz, what's this right here? What's this right here, Fizz? What's this right here? Goofanoid number 1. Goofanoid is funding again. So this is the second one. Goofanoid is funding again. Nothing can stop this clown from popping onto the page. 19 backers, $318 US, 63%. If I'm about to sneeze. Bless me. Anyway, right? You don't care, right? But yet you want to have an Indiegogo and everything. You want to have these different tiers right here that I can't really view, or these perks, right? Okay. Anyway, continue back on with this.
Stories I like aren't marketable. This is why you probably never heard of most of them until I just bring them up.
Because there probably some really crazy stuff. Says he's a bit passionate, but only has notes on a few characters and apparently keeps it in his head. Yeah. Not that it's my business, but did you ever donate $50 to Fizz? I can't remember. I can't remember, man. To be honest,
I don't care if sex sells. I'm gonna have sexy women on the cover and then have them get skinned alive in the comic just to spite those fucking.
yeah, good job. Yeah, right. I know you wanted to do that with Pussy Catnip. You wanted to make her be appealing to the furries, and then within the actual story, she's like, no, you were trying to do a bait and switch. You were trying to do a bait and switch with Pussy Catnip. You were gonna call it Pussy Cat and the title Pussy Catnip and whatever, and have it be appealing to the furries and whoever else, and then in the story itself, she actually is the bad guy. She goes from like, oh, the good girl, and then no, she's actually the bad guy, even though she's partnering with Goofonoid, who's supposed to be a good guy, and well, allegedly is a good guy, and yet she like jumps the gun and becomes like the villain somehow, even though the main again the comic is titled Pussy Catnip, which is supposed to be her being a good like a superhero or a hero in general. But yeah, you go ahead and skin those sexy fictional characters and put them through the most craziest stuff because reasons. And you be wondering why people don't really want to tune in and listen to you.
People can't read a story unless the characters look attractive. I've literally
Hey, what?
made fucking people on the cover and then have them get skinned alive in the comic just to spite those fucking people who can't read a story unless the characters look attractive.
You mean you? You mean you? You, sir? Are you talking about yourself?
I've literally made it so that most of the female characters in my story are physically unattractive. So they have nothing else to focus on except for their character.
Wow. Really? Okay, I didn't even know that. Ferret, I didn't know that.
I'm choosing to make the comic about the alien chick, well, not even alien chick, an alien creature. I chose to make the creature female, so that's one of my main female heroines in the universe. Because I guess it's more interesting, because that makes her twice removed from humanity. So it's not only she an alien, but also a female, even though she can't. She lacks anything. She lacks anything that connects to a human woman. So she's completely removed from humanity in that regards. It's almost like kind of like Martian Manhunter. She's removed twice from humanity.
Hurry up, Fizz. Let's go. Stop repeating yourself.
It's an alien. It's an alien creature who, unlike Martian Manhunter, is not a shapeshifter. So she can't transform to a human. And at the same time, she's also female.
Hey, I thought we were being original here, Fizz. I thought we were being original here. Why are we talking about Martian Manhunters?
Unrelatable to most humanity. Because she lacks what human woman was supposed to have, which is beauty, by being a salamander praying mantis hybrid creature thing.
Oh my gosh, dude.
She lacks beauty and she lacks.
Who cares about the character? The character bores me.
Yeah, she lacks and
Not
lacks
just because she doesn't
humanity
look good
physically.
or anything. It just bores me. I don't know anything about
So
this.
we were forced to
Other
read
than
comics
she's supposed
about
to be like
this alien
Martian
creature
Manhunter. Wow, that sounds
trying to learn
fun.
how to blend in with human society, or serve a purpose to human society by being a superhero.
What's her struggles? What's her origins?
Jazz one comic was something like Hellboy, or Hellboy, than something like any other comic character I can name, except she's an alien instead of a demon. Except that usually works for a male character, but that doesn't work with a female character.
Dead air.
Now not doing a good job of explaining it, but that's what it is. It's similar archetype as many of Mike Mignola's characters. There's not just Hellboy. We also got Ape Sapien and Roger the Homunculus and all them characters. She has to learn. She has to learn to see good in humanity as an alien raised on Earth. I actually want that. That's actually what I want to tell a story about. Now, most people not gonna be interested in because she doesn't have breasts at all.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Because she's a creature from outer space who's not a mammal and doesn't.
Dude, there's literally what the hell are they called in Mass Effect? The Turians. There's literally female Turians that you could play in Mass Effect 3, and they don't have breasts, and yet there's people who would still have sex with them. Stop, dude.
Give live birth. She actually lays eggs.
Right you are, Right you are, ferret.
But no one wants anything beyond the norm. They just want they just want they just want a redone version of Batman.
Wrong.
Or a redone version of Spider-Man. Spider-Man comics is going down here as of late. But I don't not want to write another version of Spider-Man. I don't want to write another version of most of these characters. I'm trying to be the best me. I'm trying to let the characters be the best versions of the characters I want to write about. I'm not trying to write about characters that already exist. I have no interest in writing about Superman as Superman. I don't have an interest in writing about the idea of a knight in shining armor, who is the most upstanding superhero of them all. But I'm not interested in writing about Superman.
Viper the rap. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
No, this trend just me being angry, but I don't care. I have to listen. I'm tired of this balling this anger up.
Then you need to go see a therapist or go find a healthy hobby or something, dude.
I hate shonen.
Yes,
I hate stories aimed at teenagers.
Yes, we know.
Because the writers of these shows all agree that teenagers are too stupid to actually handle complex storylines.
Wrong.
So they give them nothing but hedonism, because Japan is a pagan hedonistic society.
What the fuck, dude?
Anime can't even be funny.
Yes, it can.
It's not even just translation problem. Anime can't really tell jokes. Shonen, at least not shonen anime. All they can do is have a nip slip.
What?
or a wardrobe malfunction or something along those lines. They can't actually really tell a joke with proper setup and punchline. They just can't do that.
No, you can't do that, dude. Stop projecting. You can't do that.
I hate good storytelling. The shonen anime.
Wait,
If,
did you say you hate good storytelling?
I hate good storytelling.
Wow.
If shonen anime is good storytelling, then I hate good storytelling. Plain and simple.
You do hate good storytelling.
Now we end the stream.
And that's it right there. That's literally it right there. That's how he ends it. No interesting way to like just do an outro with it. He just goes on this weird tangent rant about Kate Dazzling, Trey, the people who've been trying their best to help him and have been criticizing him, rightfully so, critiquing him, talking about how he hates fictional female characters that are sexy, and then just doing this mass rejecting of like what he can't do, but yet he has all these problems with this stuff, and yet he doesn't be productive. He just sits there. He does nothing, and when he does do something, it's like, this is what you have to show people. This is what you have. Really, you're gonna waste our you're gonna waste our sight on whatever the hell you just made. That's just so. Yes, for those who are new to this, who are new to Fizz, welcome. I'm literally saving you 4 to 5 years of the most nonsensical culmination of whatever is going on with Fizz. I don't know either, but Fizz thinks The Boys is thought provoking than anime. He trashes Kate more than Trey when Trey is more harsher and critical because he knows Trey is a real one. He knows Trey is a real one, and I'm to the point where I might go the Trey route a little bit, just a little bit, because I'm getting tired of I'm getting tired of him doing this to Kate as well. This, if he got something to say, then he needs to start being a man and start talking to both me, Trey, and Anime, and whoever else. And I don't even like getting quote unquote ghetto with people, but Fizz really makes that side of me want to come out. And I'm not no tough guy or anything like that. I'm just a dude on the internet. But dude, when it's to the point where the first thing he's talking about is Kate blocking him, and guess what, Fizz? Fizz? Here's a big revelation for you. I'm the one who told her to block you. I'm the one. You got a problem with that? Come talk to me then. You're not gonna be talking fucking crazy to me. I'll let you know. You come right after my fucking artist too, or anyone that I work with, that I associate with. We're gonna have some fucking problems. Again, I'm not trying to be a tough guy or anything, but just to the point, it's just how he's been doing this stuff, man. It's just, look, I'd rather him actually go silent for a year. Go silent for a year and come back and show us and prove us all wrong. But no, we won't get that. He doesn't learn, man. He doesn't. The man who knows everything can learn nothing new. Chinese proverb. When I tell people in real life about Fizz, people think the FBI should search into him, or can't believe I would. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's it right there for Fizz. Well, Fizz's video, I should say. Now let me show you uh Kate. I have Kate's right here, and this is a bit of a memory lane, a little bit, just a little bit. This is what how old is this? Ooh, sorry about that, y'all. It might be a little loud. This is 3 years ago. This is 3 years ago. Uh Here we go.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is not my usual fun videos. This is not going to be a entertaining video or a video game video.
I will also say this too, Kate. She has dogs in the background, so if you start hearing like some like weird noises, that's her dogs. Let's see. Honestly, as far as indie creators, you're exactly the opposite of Fizz, being one of Kate's best guests, while Fizz is her worst. I mean, again, it's just treating people with mutual respect. Try at least understand that we get caught up in some things. You know, it's human nature. But when you're deliberately, yeah, I cannot speak, deliberately going out of your way to be like this, it's man, it's just Kate's creepy experience of yes, and I choose this one in particular because people need to know. People do need to know.
And I guess that noise was kind of appropriate because this is a response to a person who's a bit of a joke. Okay, so let me begin. Now, before
Thank
I
you, bro.
start talking about this person, I'm not going to tolerate any bullying or harassment. I'm just going to tell the truth of what I've had to deal with and why I just think this person is a creep, why I won't associate with them anymore, why I won't get near them in social media anymore, because they've already proven enough that they're.
And let me say this: this video was made 3 years ago, but she continued on with trying to help him until until she blocked him. Until she blocked him. And sorry. Just trying to be reasonable, trying to keep myself calm. Or trying to be calm at least. She didn't need to do this for him. She didn't. This could have all been done and over with 3 years ago. And I'm not saying this is her fault or anyone else's fault other than Fizz, because Fizz is the one who keeps trying to keep turning this wheel, just like going nowhere. I wish this wasn't the case. I wish that we're kind of like in a just slightly alternate version of this thing, like where we're actually praising Fizz for actually doing a good job and listening to us, and he's succeeding. But no, this is reality, and reality comes to show you with not only what hit the video that we seen of him, but we're of now Kate's as well. And Kate is an awesome person. She's actually my co-host. I can't wait for her to return, and we just start doing streams again. I mean, it's so fun. But we did like Has Been Hotel. We did like the creepy pasta stuff. I can't wait to do more creepy pasta stuff for her. And I mean, gotta say, miss her. Miss her a lot. Miss having my co-host.
Very hard-headed. Anyways, this person is named Fizzchozo. Now, it's been brought to my attention that Fizz made a video about me. Not directly, but he did reference me. So it's not technically making a video about me, but he did mention me in his video, which was basically focused on cartoon characters. He brought me up at the end, like for a minute, and talked about, oh, well, yeah, fuck Dazzling Kate. She doesn't know what she's saying. She doesn't understand me and my ideas like I do. And I don't understand your ideas. Because I'm not you. Because I don't understand why you think it's appropriate for some of these ideas. Now, it's really weird because he mentioned me at the end of a cartoon review, not review, but discussion about Looney Tune characters and Disney characters. And I'm confused. How do I fit into that? How do I fit into that, Fizz? I don't fit into it. Okay, so I'm trying my best to understand this, but I can't. I understand that he's really mad at me because I don't accept his ideas. I've actually tried to help him develop his ideas, to let him know he needs to develop them, and that how it would affect his work in the future if he actually, took people's criticism. Because, Fizz, let me be honest, the comic book industry is very harsh. There's going to be criticism everywhere. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be the best artist in the world, but there's going to be someone who will always criticize you. You can be the best writer in the world, and again, there's going to be someone who always judges you. My best advice is to, live with it. If you want to improve, take that criticism to heart. Read about it. Look into it. Because that's all you can do to improve yourself, or to ignore it, whatever. But when you start misbehaving and acting like you're above everyone and belittling people, then I just lose my respect. Now, I'm going to talk about how I met Fizzchozo and my experiences with him. Hopefully, you guys won't mind me being lengthy with it. Okay, let me explain a little bit. So, rewinding way back to when I met him a couple of months ago. Now, I met Fizz on Twitter. Yeah, what a wonderful place to meet someone. Terrible mistake. So, Fizz DM'd me and asked me to read a script for Goofanoid. Now, Goofanoid...
And this has been, and I'm not trying to cut everything off, but this has been a cycle as far as I understand, with him sending stuff to her and her just basically saying, WTF, what is this? You need to scrap this and rewrite things and make it better. This has been going on for years, to the best of my knowledge.
But before I acknowledged too much of it, I just went through the writing, thought it was terrible, told him that the letters and the way that it was written is not working because it would be confusing to comic artists. So I let him know that you have to change up your method because this does not work. I didn't tell him that it was a terrible idea in general. I just told him the writing was terrible and that was it. Anyways, moving on, he starts to message me on Twitter more and starts to ask me to appear on his channel or let him come onto my channel because I had a bigger platform. And he did message me the first time for a stream when I was asleep. And I told him that I was asleep afterwards. And he instead invited my friend Trey. I won't go into what Trey's story is with Fizz because he can tell his own story. Anyways, moving on, to the next time he DM'd me to have me have him on my channel for a stream to talk about whatever subject he was going to come up with. He had no plan. He had no idea of what to do. He was just like, oh, yeah, let's think about doing this. And I asked him, oh, why do you want to be on my channel? And he answered with, because he wants to grow his channel. He wants to use me for the number of subscribers I had more than him, and wanted to do it because he wanted to get more people to read his book.
Which hasn't worked, by the way. Which hasn't worked. And I know I forgot to say this, but he was on Raging Golden Eagle's channel. If you guys know who that is, then you would know that Raging Golden Eagle has quite the viewership when it comes to his live streams. And did that work out? Well, from the Indiegogo campaign, it hasn't. Anyway.
I didn't like that. I wanted to work with people who understood me, who get what I mean, and want to talk about things on some kind of level before we go straight into it, something we can both consent to. And I think he got irritated by that because he wanted to grow his channel. And after that, we started to drift in the conversation zone. I just didn't want to talk to him because he was kind of off. Eventually, when I did a Pride comic stream, he was trying to advertise his book on my stream. He was talking about his channel, and that I found very impolite, very rude to advertise yourself on someone's stream when they're doing something enjoyable. Well, for me, it was actually torture reading those comics. But he didn't take very kindly to me saying that. He was just like, oh, I'm just trying to grow my channel because I want people to read my new book that I have coming out soon for the crowdfunding. And let me talk about the crowdfunding. Give me a minute. I'm going to take a real quick sippy sip, and then I'll talk about it. Okay, let's discuss. Now, Fizz thinks that if he appears on someone else's channel, he will magically get more followers, that he will magically get more people to, understand his ideas and enjoy them and all that other shit. But the problem is, again, the way he goes about it. If things don't go his way, it's the highway. It's like he won't work with you unless you kiss his ass.
And even then, he'll still view you as what do you say, inferior and all? It's just I couldn't imagine working with him at all, and I won't until he miraculously somehow starts becoming rational, and actually starts putting a lot of work in to things. And he grows truly. I just can't imagine being an artist for him and hearing that I'm inferior, even though I drew these crazy characters and concepts for him, and I had to tolerate that because again, being nonsensical.
He wants you to basically think his ideas are all that. And I understand it. You this is your first time making a book. You want it to go super well. And I know better than anybody about that. I've never tried to do a crowdfunding or try to start my project immediately because I've been working my butt off to make a good product that somebody can enjoy. He rushes. He thinks everything he has will be amazing and different because he thinks differently than other people. And all I have to say about that is that the way he goes about it with that, it just irritates me. I'm not trying to say it's okay to basically belittle him or anything like that. It's just the way he goes about things and the way that he treats people when they tell him, oh, well, that's not a good thing. He thinks that he will get big numbers of people to crowdfund his book. He's managed to get 10 plus people, unfortunate souls, to crowdfund his book. I don't think it's going to work. The way that he goes about them, the way he treats people, it's not going to work. And no matter if it's one of your dreams to have this book published, it's not going to work. You have to have experience. You have to understand how like the comic book industry works, how people like your audiences, like who's your audience? Who are you aiming this book at? If you have no clue, if you cannot answer simple questions about your universe or what tempted you to improve your characters or anything. I did plenty of interviews with him, about two to three with him, and he said he wrote everything down in his head. It's all in his head. He never took the time to, write it down completely, try and build from it, and do research connected to the things that he wanted to do the ideas with. He just didn't bother. He did not bother. He didn't try. And he just wanted to do the least amount of work possible so he can keep moving on to project.
Good night, man.
Which is a very bad method. You can try and make a good product, but if you don't know who you're aiming your book at, or if you don't know what you're going to have to do to make your book published or try and work with, you're not going to have a good book to sell.
And that's important. And that's an important key right there. And yeah, now that I think about it, who was his audience? Truly, who was his audience? Welcome back, Jonan. Yeah, but can y'all tell me who his audience was? Can you tell me? Like, I don't know who his audience was. Maybe the insane asylum, maybe, possibly. When it came to, I was just like, okay, well, it's a clown hero. Again, this is back when this is like a brand new indie creator. I don't, and I was just like, okay, well, I'll give it a try at least because I was like, well, okay, maybe it's like a diamond in the rough, but then like, yeah, I don't know who the audience is for that. Unlike with mine, mine is for people who like dark fantasy and sexy characters with a mix of Dark Souls, Berserk, and Evil Dead, and a little bit of DMC as well. Obviously, it's for adults. Simple as that.
If your concept is a very bad concept and you're not willing to put any, development into it, any ideas into it, any sort of thing to pull people in to read it, and it's all about you. I know. This is my idea. You get what I mean? This is my idea. I don't want to develop it too much. But with me, I know I had so many good concepts I thought would work for my comic. I thought, oh wow, this sounds super amazing. I should put it in my book immediately. But when I took the time to analyze that and to develop the characters and plot, I realized that this one element just couldn't fit into the idea. So I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll put it into a different idea. You can still use that idea, but if it doesn't make sense for that specific story, then it doesn't need to be in the book. Fizz doesn't take advice like that. He doesn't care about what you say exactly. As long as he just says, okay, whatever. He'll try, but he never does.
Nope, he doesn't.
Me and Trey have interviewed Fizz, talked to Fizz many times. Many times. And Fizz would always go back and, make shit up. Oh, I tried to, but it didn't work out well. I don't want to do it that way because then I would have to erase everything I worked for.
Being lazy.
There was not enough work there to begin with. You're pretty fine. You can just do some editing. development something.
Freaking lazy,
Because
dude.
this is what is part of the comic book industry. You're going to have to take criticism.
Yeah, you
whether
want to
it's
get people,
from
you
a
want to get paid,
professional,
right?
whether it's from a beginner, whether it's from the audience. It does not matter. You have to take that criticism and think about it. If you don't try developing ideas, then why should we buy your book? Why should we buy your book? Okay, so moving on to the next thing, which is basically talking about sexual ideas. Now, I did interviews with Viz, and what he ended up doing and discussing was very disturbing things. I need another drink.
I need a
I just need to
drink.
take a quick sip.
I need a drink. 3 years later, I need a drink. God, man.
Okay, so we're going to go into depth about what ideas he had and what he's trying to do with that universe exactly. So we'll start off with his female comic character, Lightwave. Now, Lightwave is a speedster and, well, can create constructions with her mind or whatever. And she glows, which is why she's called Lightwave, which doesn't really make much sense to me, because that is two overly powerful abilities, and he doesn't know how to work with those abilities. And I theorize, and Trey has theorized, that basically that he never even read a Flash comic or anything of the sorts to understand the abilities. Okay, sorry about that. It just sounded like he didn't know anything about the Flash or Green Lantern or anything of the sorts. It just sounded like he was just mixing up ideas and trying to connect them like puzzles. But the problem was, he didn't understand how those two abilities would work. Sorry about the dogs barking, but then again, I'm not sorry. Fizz apparently doesn't like my dogs when they bark because they're annoying. You can see that in one of our interviews. I'm sure you can hear it somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyways. So Lightwave, with her abilities of speed and construction making, was basically harassed in high school. She's 14 years old, and she's being harassed because she doesn't have a big breast size.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but you know, anime is softcore porn though. It's softcore porn to the kids, but yet this is straight from the guy who literally created Lightwave, and she's getting bullied for having small breasts or no breasts. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Again, that's really problematic, especially from a male creator. You don't give your female characters those elements. As a girl, I've never witnessed any girl get, harassed for not having big boobs. I've never seen it. There's probably been a case or two, but that again still doesn't make up for it. That doesn't make up for your sexism. It just doesn't. And another problematic thing with this character is one of her villains made by him that he actually mentioned to Trey, one of my friends, who told me a while ago that Fizz wanted to ask me if this character would be a good idea. And this character was basically a male poison ivy who used his pheromones on Lightwave, and he's above the age of 18. I don't know how old he is, 20s or something. I don't care, because I know it was above the age of 18, and that right there is fucking creepy. Why would you make a character like that? I understand that they're supposed to be a bad guy, that there have been characters who have done that.
Forgot about Spiderhead.
Or are just creepy in general. But with the ideas you have and what you mention a lot of the times, it just comes off as really creepy. Because Fizz also had a few other characters who were connected to sexual acts and such. To everything. Yeah. So, let me begin. Another character he had was Tiger Man. Now, Tiger Man is a violent character who's a 12-year-old kid. 12-year-old kid. You're telling me this kid is violent. Okay, how? Oh, because his mom abused him and he knows where uterus is because he's trying to become a doctor and and what makes this worse is, oh, give me a minute, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, I was talking about Tiger Man. So, okay. So there was basically him removing a woman's uterus by, pulling it out of her, ripping it out of her, whatever. And I'm just like, how does a child, just because he wants to become a doctor, how does he look into anatomy and know, oh, there's the uterus? I understand that this is supposed to be a gory comic, but with everything connected to it, it just kind of grosses me out more so about the content than the actual gore. So there are some other characters, apparently a lesbian couple, who is supposed to be called trans lesbian, like lesbian transformers or some shit. I don't know. Basically, their powers are activated because they're lesbians. That's not creepy or weird at all. That doesn't sound super sexual at all. That doesn't sound super sexist at all. Okay. So, okay. Aside from that, then there was the other sexual character connected to Tiger Man. And you can't tell me with these different sexual characters that they aren't trying to prey on a 12-year-old kid. You can't tell me that. Because the way that he talks, the way that he goes about it, it just sounds like, oh, everything's a joke to him. Everything is a joke to him. So, okay. The next character is a BDSM owner. BDS club owner. Now, I'm not trying to shame anyone for their kink. It's whatever. Don't worry about it, guys. What I'm trying to basically say is that that's creepy. You don't put that in with a 12-year-old kid. You can't tell me you haven't thought about, oh, maybe she should harass him in some kind of way. You can't tell me that anymore, because if she knew everything about him, then what's the point? It just doesn't make any sense. Basically, she's a seductive club owner who is called Dark Weaver, who apparently is very sexual, a deviant, and all that kind of stuff. Again, sorry for the barking, but I'm also not sorry. And it bewilders me of how stupid these ideas are, but also creepy how creepy they are. It disturbs me because he acts like it's normal. This is not normal. This is disturbing. This is very much something you don't want to introduce to a general comic audience. And he talks about this, oh, well, I'm trying to do something different with my comic universe. And it's totally different because I think it would be accepted and stuff. This just makes you look more like a predator. And he complains about that. He complains that, oh, there's so many people out there pointing fingers at me, calling me a predator. With this kind of shit you're pulling out and telling people you're gleefully happy about, oh, this is a wonderful idea that I came up with for Tiger Man or Lightwave about these possible predator type characters for these children. I don't care if they're 14. I don't care if they're 12. If they're below the age of 18, they're a predator. Not the character, but like the people above, like older than them. Those are predators. I don't fucking care if they don't flirt with that character. They're just kind of there, but they're still sexual. No, you can't have kid crime fighters and sexual characters. There's only a few times I've seen it work, and one of them has to be Sedusa. But again, this is totally different. When you have sexual subjects like BDSM or lesbians who manage to transform because of their lovemaking, or when you remove a uterus from another woman's body, which was also one of those couples one of the lesbians that were in a relationship. It just no, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It really does not make sense to me. You can't tell me. You cannot tell me you weren't thinking about what turns you on making these ideas. You cannot tell me that wasn't your intention. Because all of this of what I've explained is super disturbing and gross. You can't sell me an idea connected to a child and having those villains be sexual orientated or focused on or central. Because when you have that, you have to be careful about that. And Fizz was not careful. It was obvious what he wanted. I know I said I would be calm, but this is just really irritating to me. Fizz, the reason why your ideas don't work is because you don't develop them. The reason why nobody likes your ideas is because you don't develop them. Because you don't put in the hard work. Because you use the first thing that comes to your mind and you just stick with it because you think that's how development works, which it does not. And when you try to make it normal that, oh, there's sexual characters involved with a child, no, that is not how you do things. It's no wonder that people point out your shit when you talk about it like that. No, that's not okay. That is never okay. And just because, oh, well, these characters have tragic backstories, and hell, there's even one character called the Penetrator who is a sexual assaulter and is basically the worst human being ever.
I forgot that he was one. Yeah.
And you want to write a story about that. Someone who's so disgusting, and you're trying to normalize it more. You talk about him gleefully, but it's just disturbing. This kind of shit is disturbing to me. Again, guys, I'm trying my best not to be mean, but when you think these ideas are okay to do when there's no planning involved, and then you think it's okay to have children characters surrounded by them, you cannot tell me, oh, you can't tell me he wasn't thinking about doing anything connected to those characters. I don't care what he has to fucking say. Oh, but it wasn't that intention. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be like that. No, you should think better. You should know better. I'm just really done. And that's the reason why I blocked Fizzchozo. And when he mentioned me in his video saying, fuck Dazzling Kate, I lost every ounce of respect for this guy. Every ounce. Why do you think I blocked you? Because you were a creep. This is my experience with Fizzchozo, who was a creep, who still is a creep. Do I think his book, Goofonoid, will succeed? No. It will never succeed. I don't care how hurt his feelings get from this. I just can't deal with people who think they're above, even though they're below in skill, experience, and understanding of their audience, comics, anything in general. I just can't. I can't work with people like that. I can't talk with people like that when they think it's okay that, oh, this child characters near this sexual character who probably has worse intentions than not to prey on that child. If it sounds like it will happen, it just does sound. It does. I'm sorry if I'm getting really, really mad. I am. I'm not trying to bully Fizzchozo. I'm not trying to harass him. I'm just saying the truth. And this is how I feel. When you act like a creep, when you say this is okay to do, when you say, oh, well, that's not my intention, but it doesn't look good on you, and when you try and excuse, well, I wanted a sexual character because there isn't enough characters in that category. But there's a reason for that. There's a reason why there's not a lot of sexual characters near children, teenagers, that kind of thing. I know events like very, very unfortunate events like assaults happen, and that is a way to use it in storytelling when you're trying to bring justice to that situation. But if you're saying it's okay for a character like that to creep on teenage girls, like your pheromone male poison ivy character, I forgot his fucking name. I don't care if I remember his name or not. It's a fucking sick joke. And when you have a character called the Penetrator, who's a assaulter, Again, sexual, very disturbing. Why would you write a comic about that? Okay, I'm done. I'm done talking about this. My final words for Fizz is to just get help. Get help. Get out of your house. Work on your social life. Go to therapy. Do something that will improve your mental health, that will improve you. Stop pushing people to listen about your ideas when they don't work. Stop trying to act like you're above people or that you're going to be one of the great comic creators ever. Because if you don't work on it, if you don't try, and you just want things handed to you, that's awful. That's awful. There's many creators out there who do a lot of work to get where they're at, and you're not one of them. You're not one of them, Fizz. You're not one of them. But I do hope you get help. I hope somebody understands that you need some kind of help mentally or whatever. Anyways, I'm done doing this. Anyways, guys, I hope you all understand. I'm not trying.
I mean, she said it best right there. And again, that's from my friend, my co-host. And this guy has been just targeting her for just because, honestly, I believe just because she's a woman. Honestly, that's not me trying to be funny or anything. He's writing stuff about women and doing horrific things to female characters, and he gets so upset about sexy female characters that he wants to write about them getting killed and tortured in the most gruesome ways. And here I mean, I was there when he raised his voice at her, but he wasn't really raising his voice at Trey or Fenrir or Anime. But he would raise his voice at her. I mean, how am I supposed to take this, y'all? For real. This is why I get upset and I get infuriated. It's like, dude, you are doing way too much. Doing like I think so too. Yeah. It's just, how can I word this? It's to the point where I can't even speak clear. I know I stutter, but man, I'm struggling to even talk. You know it's not okay. Yet, all right, so on to the last video. Another special guest, one that has actually given me a chance to, Trey McKell, great guy. Especially with Kate. Please look into their channels and subscribe to them if you think they're they're good enough for y'all to watch and all that. These two people have been very instrumental in helping me out, and I give thanks to them a lot. So, okay, without further ado, let's get into Trey's. And this also, I wanted to clarify, this video is from a year ago, and this is after a stream that he did with Dazzling Kate, where Fizz kind of like broke down towards the end of the stream, and it was very concerning. It was very concerning. just bewildering. I'm not laughing. I'm just laughing at like the circumstance of it all. Like, what is going on? What is just going on, dude? when Trey checked him that one time about calming the anger, yeah, that was he. Yep, that was. I mean, that was a straight A+ right there for Trey. Straight A+, straight gangster. I was about that was the stream I was ready to just go in there too, but I had to just hold back. I had to. I do like I do like that video where Trey also covered indie creator problems. Yes, yes, and that's another thing too. Other than with this stream, other than advertising people who are deserving of it and raising awareness about Fizzchozo and uh um kind of advertising my things too. It's also about just the indie sphere where, hey, when we encounter problems like this or people like this, what's the best way we can go about this to bring in a solution, especially if you're an indie creator yourself. So anyway, let's get into this.
About Fizzchozo and the Goofanoid, because if you guys seen, surprise, I was on Kate's channel yesterday, and we did a live stream. Even though her restream kept kicking me out sometimes because I and the volume and it was picking up other stuff. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We had a fun time on stream because we got to talk about it. I'm a little upset at Anime ass for posting that he was gonna be on there and then don't even show up except for in the comment sections. Like, bruh, where you was at? Thought you was gonna get in on this. But anyway, that was something. But the reason why I want to bring it up is because, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people can't go through things, right? But it goes back to what the whole Eric July thing, EBS thing, or whatever, debate or whatever, and stuff like that. I'm not really fully wrapped or encased in everything, but it does remind me, like, you got people who you want people to support you, right? You want people to support you, but then you don't do the work. But then you're expecting people to still continue to constantly support you. It just doesn't make logical sense. You can't keep asking me to keep putting time and effort in.
Oh, I also forgot to mention that Trey has also done some redesigns of Goofanoid. I believe this is one of them right here. I believe that's one of them. I mean, does that look so much more appealing than the original design of Goofanoid, where it looks like a serial killer stalking you in a dark alleyway? This, at least with the concept, at least this actually looks like, oh wow, who's this master crusader? Who's this anonymous figure here? Like, I kind of like want to know more about him. Anyway,
your book or your nonsense, and you ain't got nothing to deliver for. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I think it was last year we talked to Fizzchozo about Goofanoid and how it just doesn't work. The audience didn't like it. People who was on the stream with him said, hey, we don't like it. We had several people coming on saying, like, hey, this doesn't work. Maybe if you do this, maybe if you do that, you can kind of, refix it or whatever. And instead of listening to that, he goes and do the same bullshit again. So it took him a whole year just to write the script. That if don't worry, I'll link the live stream so you guys can see it also. But it's just like, I mean, what more do you need? Like, a whole year. You wasted a whole fucking year and you give us 24 pages script of nonsense featuring Goofanoid. Nobody cares about the fucking clown hero. Like, you want people to support this stuff, but they don't want to listen when people are trying to tell you. It's the same thing as like the criticism, like, you know, no offense with EBS. I'm just using him because right now he's the biggest drama thing right now from the indie scene. Motherfucker, you are a talented artist, but you have not delivered on the books that you told people. You know what I'm saying? People are saying that you haven't delivered, and it's and you can't get mad at that. That some people are calling you out or whatever, or something like that, or the fact that Air July shut up and did the work, like everybody said. You know what I mean? I want people to learn that you got to do the work, but you can't keep, when we're trying to talk to you or somebody's trying to explain something, you come up with about 500 excuses about the reason why you couldn't get something done that you want to market people. Then on another note too, is what Fizz has said that pissed me the fuck off the most was the whole I'm writing stories that I hate for audience that I do not like.
Yep, he said that. I know I said that earlier in this stream, but he did say that. And there's your confirmation right there from Trey.
That I no, for audience I hate. Motherfuckers, have you lost your mind? You don't ever say no dumb shit like that ever in your life. You don't ever sit up there and say, "Oh, I hate the audience." Like, what is wrong with you? You is on that same shit that DC and Marvel is. It's been almost a decade, and they've still been pushing this whole nonsense of I can't stand the fans, or diversity and inclusion, or we're going to give them what the hell we think they need or deserve. And then a lot of them openly admitted that they don't like us, that they hate the stories, they hate the characters or whatever, but they want to write what they want to write. No,
and they can't, and that's the thing too. And we see it with Fizz. Fizz is a prime case example of what would happen if they try to make their own original characters and and see where it will take them. Nowhere.
It's not how that works. You can't sit up there and tell people you hate this stuff, but they expect people to give you money. So honestly, at this point, Fizz's writing career is over. Honestly.
Yep.
It is what it is, but it's the truth. I mean, any kind of creative thing is done right now, because you don't go online and tell people I'm writing stories that I don't like, I don't enjoy, for people I hate. And then your reasoning is because somebody introduced you to a manga that made you hate superheroes, and because you're dealing with some religious backlash. Newsflash, grow the hell up. Grow the hell up. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. Grow the hell up. I really need you to grow the hell up, because it really don't make no sense that you had a whole year sitting at the house and you ain't got nothing done. I just do not appreciate that kind of nonsense, you know?
Yeah, don't appreciate it either. Again, back in COVID times, 2020 specifically, I would write 3 pages a day. 3 pages a day, 7 days a week. You know how many pages that is? 3 times 7? It's 21. 21 pages a week. And he can't even write. He's what? How many pages do he have for his script? 20. What was it? 21, 20, 27? So I don't know. Somewhere in the 20s, and it took, dude.
Know what I mean? Because you're wasting everybody's time. You know what I mean? You're wasting time. You wasted our time. You didn't have anything ready. And it's the same excuses. You sit at the house, you let simple things break your spirit. You talking about you hate your life or whatever and all this nonsense, and honestly, when you're trying to get better or if you're trying to sell a product, no one cares about your mental issues. Nobody cares about your excuses. People want to know why the fuck the work ain't done. Because again, you're making something that you're expecting people to buy, to support. You know what I'm saying? He talking about, oh, I'm trying to do Doomfist and the milkman and all that bullshit, and I'm just thinking to myself like, god damn it. I'm just thinking to myself like, bruh, you can't even get Goofanoid correct. And even then, I thought we dropped this shit. It's just,
Bro, look at that. Look at Trey's concept of this new Goofanoid. Look at this. I'm just appreciating the art, honestly. Unlike a certain person, I'm actually appreciating the art.
the same shit over again. Like, what are you expecting? It's like the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over again, expecting different results. It took you a year to give me Kate, Firinger, and everybody that was listening to the screen yesterday, that pathetic ass script. It was pathetic. You have lost your marbles if you think that was appropriate. What the hell you did? And I'm sorry, I ain't the yo-yo joke with the whole, you can give me some kind of excuses and stuff like that. And honestly, I'm so sick of everybody talking about they dealing with mental issues. I'm dealing with it too. Damn, fuck, shit. You think you're the only one that goes through stuff, but you've been sitting at the house for years. You ain't tried to go and get a job. You live in fucking Atlanta, Georgia. Georgia in general. Don't tell me you can't find something. There's always something to find. Hell, you can get a damn job at the airport immediately. So don't tell me. I live in damn Georgia. Don't tell me you can't get a job. You can. You just don't want to. And you sit at, and then you talk about, my life this and all that. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't care. What does it have to do with selling Goofanoid or comic books? You get what I'm saying? I understand that. I understand people be upset. I know some people might think that that's harsh, but sometimes you need a little bit of tough love, because you sat there. You sat there. You could have, if I had a whole year and I knew I wanted to do comic books or create something creatively, right? And I wasn't busy with work or family or whatever, and I'm talking about, like, he ain't got none of that really to worry about. And if I could sit down and really work on, something for a whole year, best believe I'm gonna have some stuff done. Whether it's sketches, whether it's a Bible, whether it's several short stories or something, I'm gonna have that done. Then you talking about, oh, you trying to relaunch your channel and trying to do videos about you playing Fallout New Vegas, and you're gonna make videos about poetry. Hopefully they'll bring you some money. You just told your audience you kind of hate them already. Why would they go to your channel and watch it?
Exactly.
You don't. You keep making excuses. Then you want to get mad when somebody calls you out on your bullshit. And honestly, that's the problem with people who want to do comic books in general. Everybody got some kind of fucking excuse when somebody call you out on your bullshit. Why did you make these changes? That didn't make any sense to the story. And it's always a deflection. Why isn't this book done when you had 4 years to get it done? Why is the art sloppy? You get what I mean? It is always something, and it's starting to be prevalent with all these creators, these indie creators, Comicsgate, whatever the fuck you want to call people, that y'all think that y'all can just ask people for money or ask for support and just do the bare minimum.
And that was my problem right there. To agree. When it came to Nightfall Eldritch, my first comic, where I had things planned out for it to be on Gumroad and stuff, and the 27 pages were made, they were completed, but it's like, oh, okay, once the 27 pages are fully out, then what? You see, I didn't have that long term mindset. I thought I did, but then in retrospect, what I was doing, I was like, you know what? This is basically me e-begging people in a way, without begging, but it's like, dude, this is the wrong way to go about things. And you know what I did? I stopped it, and I refunded people their money. That's growth. That's actually learning from mistakes. I went back to the drawing board with Nev. Was it 27 pages? I'm sorry, y'all. It wasn't 27 pages. It was 9 pages. It was 9 or 10 pages long. Either way, that was ridiculous. And that wasn't like the first chapter or anything. That was just the prologue. But we made additions to that where it became 27 pages long, and now we're on the second chapter, which is 48 pages. And so I mean, it's called, just, we're evolving, we're doing our best, and we're continuing to chug along and get stuff out. I mean, we're trying out new avenues. I was thinking about making a Patreon and all that, but I was like, you know what? No, we're not there. We're not there yet. We don't have, we just don't have those numbers yet. We don't have those followers like that. And it's not about we need like a big, huge following or anything, but and I believe that we're good, but we can be better. So I don't really want to give y'all subpar stuff, because that's a reflection on not only just me, but also Nev and other people who associate with us. And with these indie creators, and I don't want to make it seem like I know everything. I don't. But with these indie creators that you're seeing this stuff, it's like, is it even worth the time and effort to even let them know about what they're doing, or are they just gonna tell me, or they're gonna tell me to shut up and leave me alone because can't handle being told the truth or having just a valid point in criticism? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on the individual, So anyway, resuming back to this.
Get the work done. If you want to talk some shit, if you want to drama farm or whatever, if you want to get some sympathy points, you better make sure you have your work done first. You better make sure you got a good prevalent reason why something wasn't done, besides the lame excuses that I've been hearing from a lot of people lately.
Agreed.
Because y'all want us to support y'all, right? Okay, great. So if you want us to support y'all better come up with something better, especially when it comes to comic books. people are, and it's funny because people will literally tell you what they want from comic books, and y'all will still do the opposite of what somebody tell you to do. And that's the problem with Fizz. You know, he'll go and find weird, creepy pasta shit on some Christian Sonic Shoe shit, and then every one of his stories got to deal with children getting raped, children getting molested, or the main character is mentally abused, psychologically abused all the damn time, cutting out women's pussies and just nonsense that don't make the fucking sense that God gave. Like, oh my God, can you give me just a hero story, for God's sakes? What are we doing right now? Even the script that he was doing didn't really make the damn sense God gave, because the panels don't work. Look, Alan Moore did those panels back in the day, and it was revolutionary, but it was done for a reason. Everybody else, like Tom King, like what Fizz was doing in the comic book, in his script, it doesn't make sense. You are wasting pages lining shit up. And then on top of that, a lot of those pages don't make no sense when everything is just jumping from point A to point B to point C to point E to point A, but there's no way for you to even understand where it was coming from. And that's a problem. That is a problem. You got to figure out something, but you got to do the work. And you getting upset at me, you getting upset at Kate, Femur, or anybody else that's trying to help you ain't gonna work, because you're the one that ain't got nothing going on. You're the one that's sitting at the house all day. You're the one that ain't got no job. You're the one that ain't got no comic book published. But then you want to call yourself a genius, or you were talking about you were tired of what the mainstream was doing. But you know better than the mainstream. Hell, if anything, you're probably worse. Like, you have to do the work. You can't expect it to fall in your lap. And again, you had years to get this shit done. It's the same old song and dance with you. And you want what? You want some forgiveness? You want people to what? Feel sorry for you? And anytime I don't want people to feel sorry for me. Well, clearly you do, because when I'm telling you shit, your ass come up with excuses. You do want somebody to feel sorry, because because if that's the case, why bring up, oh, I almost tried to, or I hate my life, or I'm having a religious moment or whatever and junk like that, or my life's not great. Okay, but are you working on it? Are you trying to change it? I mean, we all trying to change it. Hell, I'm trying to look sexy for next Christmas. I'm working on it. I'm going to the gym. Hell, I'm going to the gym right now, and I really do not want to. I really want to go back into bed. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I want to go back into bed so goddamn bad. Go to bed. But no. I'm gonna get up, go to the gym. Remember, I want to look like Henry Cavill or Alan Richardson. Oh, I have goals. I have goals that I'm going to complete. But yeah, you gotta do something. But this nonsense of excuses is just it's killing me, and I'm more pissed off that we knew. I think we all knew deep down inside. We knew that it was the same song and dance. It was the same bullshit. But we tried. We tried our best. But your best can only go so far, honestly. And now I'm over it. Ain't got nothing else for you. I ain't got no more give a fucks anymore, because you wasted our time yet again. And you ain't got nobody to blame but yourself. And honestly, hopefully you can get Milkman done, which
Oh God,
I doubt it, because it took you this long to even get that Redux Goofanoid plot going on. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion on the whole situation. On the matter is, like I said, I will link the stream down below so you guys can see, because it's on Dazzling Cake's channel, and we can talk about it later or whatever or something like that. But I just kind of had to get on here, kind of just throw out a little bit of my opinion out, because I'm just like, what the hell am I doing right now? You know what I'm saying? What am I dealing with? I'm dealing with this nonsense that don't make no sense when, you had time to change. You could have easily got a lot of this stuff done. You could have easily had several scripts done, and instead you choose not to, and it just doesn't make the damn sense God gave. You know what I mean? Like, why did you think you can just waste people's time again like this? What, you think we were supposed to just be like, yeah, that makes sense? But like I said, it's whatever. I'm sorry this little video went a little bit long, but I just kind of wanted to just throw a little bit of my post feelings about everything that happened yesterday about the live stream. Like I said, I'll link it below. Follow my channel, follow my socials, I guess, Twitter, Instagram. No, there's no Facebook. Share, repost, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm about to get my black ass in this goddamn gym. Wish me luck. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
And that's it right there, y'all. That's it right there. That's all I have for y'all for this stream with those 3 videos. I know we covered a lot within almost a 3-hour range. And that's who Fizz is. Fizz is a man, Fizz is just a quote unquote creative who doesn't like the mainstream and is so passionate about his stuff that it literally takes him a year or more to write a script out. And he likes to make mental notes but doesn't like to actually write down notes, which he does forget about certain things, and he's been called out on by Dre, of course. And with Fizz just being how he is, with these many excuses, it's like navigating a maze of lies. You know you're going to be lost because things are so scattered. The maze is just so incomplete that you don't know which way is the right way. I mean, again, I literally saved a lot of y'all newcomers 4 to 5 years worth of just a vicious cycle by showing you those 3 videos right there. And I thank you for staying here this long or catching the replay, because this isn't just to advertise my stuff and other creatives like Trey, Dave Brink, and Kate, but also just to raise awareness of Fizzchozo. I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow made a video about me that was very incoherent and just I'm just this boogeyman. No, I'm a former supporter of his. I was until I saw that he wasn't making any progress, and he didn't care at all what he was putting out. And that was before he made the comment about how he doesn't like his audience and he hates writing. That was way before that. this is an unfortunate case of what not to do in being in the indie sphere, especially being an indie creative. I know we have multiple examples to look at, and honestly, I do believe that Fizzchozo should be another example added onto that very faded wall of shame. It could have went somewhere, especially with all, and I mean, I never seen someone other than I haven't seen anyone else than Fizz and the indie sphere get that much support on a local level. And what I mean by local level is that, me being part of Kate and Trey's community along with Dave's as well, and Raging Golden Eagles. I mean, I haven't seen that much support and just that much more stubbornness from a creative other than Fizz. I just, it's really hard to like just process this. It I don't know. I mean, this is the effect that he gives people right here, where they're so baffled they don't even know what to even say. That's how insane it is. And this is the Fizz saga, and the reason why I call it the Fizz saga is because I do expect it to keep on continuing until who knows how long. I don't want to. I don't want to talk down on the guy or anything, but he makes it very, very hard to make him to like him and actually have respect for him and actually take him seriously. He makes it very hard, and honestly, I can't. I honestly can't with Fizz. So, ending this stream, well, this outro and everything. I hope you guys just go about your day, have fun, or your night, do whatever you want legally, of course, and just I'll see y'all next time. Seriously, I mean, it's fun actually doing a stream on Fridays, especially if I decide to upload on Fridays as well. I do plan on making more manga dubs, but I ask for your patience. I do. Neff and I are working as fast as we can, humanly possible. I mean, especially with this week for me, this has been a very busy week for me, with my job and everything. But that's okay. Tomorrow, well, today is tomorrow for me. I do expect to actually get back into writing my 34th. I think I'm on chapter 34. My 34th chapter of my second book, and I mean, I'm on the third section of it, y'all. I'm really like I'm just so psyched for it, bro, for real. Especially with it being a rewrite, a complete rewrite. So until then, y'all, I'll see y'all later. You guys have been great, y'all have been awesome, and ciao.